Welcome to Health Steps 24/7. I'm Chris, your social media pharmacist. Today I will be talking on how to do a first aid scene assessment. Become a health stepper. Walk more. Count those steps. Subscribe to Health Steps 24/7. How to do a first aid scene assessment. Before giving any help to the victim, you should first do a check of the incident or accident scene. After doing a check of the incident or accident scene, check the victim. First aid scene assessment emergency response has two parts. That is, firstly, checking the scene of the incident or accident to make sure that it is safe for both you and people who may be within the immediate area where the incident or accident occurred. Then secondly, checking the victim. Avoid becoming a victim too. Always first check the scene of the incident or accident before checking the victim. How to check the scene before providing first aid to a victim. Safety comes first. Look around. Check the scene to make sure that it is safe, not just for you, but also for people who may be within the immediate environment of the scene of the incident or accident you are responding to. Check the scene for possible threats to your safety, the victim's safety, and the safety of bystanders. Hazards or dangers that could be present at a scene of an incident or accident include gas, fire, smoke, electrical wires, moving vehicles, a hostile crowd, fallen rocks, extreme weather, and violent behavior. If you observe that any of these dangers are present, stay in a safe place, call 911 or first responders such as police or firefighters who may be not far away from the scene of the incident or accident. Do not approach the victim. While checking the scene for hazards, look around for possible clues that may have caused the medical emergency. Also check to see if there are more victims. Ask bystanders if there are more persons who may have been involved in the incident or accident. Always keep an eye out for any dangers you may have previously missed. How to check the victim when responding to a medical emergency. Key things to do when checking the victim include universal precautions, getting consent from the victim, knowing the mechanism of injury, and assessing the victim's level of consciousness. Universal precautions. What are universal precautions? Universal precautions are techniques used when providing first aid to protect against diseases spread by body fluids and blood. Before having any contact with the victim, make sure you have protective equipment. Wear non-latex rubber gloves or nitrile gloves. Also wear a face shield or pocket mask when giving breaths to the victim. After providing first aid, always wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water. You should wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. If you don't have immediate access to soap and water, use a hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. Getting consent from the victim. Before providing first aid, get consent from the victim. Therefore, Make sure that the victim agrees or gives you permission to provide first aid. Ask the victim, "Can I help you?" The victim is assumed to have provided implied consent or permission not stated directly if the victim is unresponsive or becomes unresponsive. That is, the victim is unconscious. The victim is not of sound mind. The victim is below the age of full legal responsibility or a minor. If the victim refuses your help, do not force them. Go to a safe area and call 911. Mechanism of injury. What is mechanism of injury? Mechanism of injury is how, with what force, and which part of the victim's body was injured. Example, did the victim have a machinery accident? Was the victim ejected from a vehicle? Or did the victim have a bad fall? When checking the victim, questions you should ask and have answered include: what is wrong with the victim? How did the victim get hurt? Does the victim have any medical conditions that may have caused this problem? Do you suspect that the victim may have a spinal injury? Assessing the victim's level of consciousness. How to assess the victim's level of consciousness? When doing an assessment of the victim's level of consciousness, assess whether the victim is conscious, semi-conscious, or unconscious. How to know when a victim is conscious, semi-conscious, or unconscious? A victim is conscious if he or she is opening his or her eye spontaneously, that is, without assistance. The victim is alert and oriented and responding to verbal stimulus quickly. For example, the victim is responding quickly to your questions. The victim's motor response is quick and purposeful. That is, the victim is displaying voluntary muscle movement. Therefore, when a victim is conscious, a victim will respond to normal interaction, voice commands, and gentle physical stimulation. In a situation where the victim is conscious, call 911 if necessary. A victim is semi-conscious if he or she is opening his or her eye to speech or pain stimulus. His or her verbal response is confusing, disoriented, and not making sense. The victim reacts to pain but cannot obey your directions. In a situation where the victim is semi-conscious, call 911 immediately. A victim is unconscious or unresponsive if his or her eye do not open. There is no verbal response from the victim, and the victim does not respond to physical stimulation. In a situation where a victim is unresponsive, call 911 immediately. Thanks for watching this video. Feel free to comment, like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Join me next time for more health videos. Bye for now.